this is the beginning of the recording and the stream for the first Sunday of July for Metakey members. Um, Technically the second because July started on a Thursday of last week, but it do be like that sometimes. But in this little stream recording thing, um, I'll be showing you how to find uh, good art, or at least what I consider like good quality art within the NFT space. Hold up, I'm just gonna turn up the volume a little bit. Because there's so much stuff in there, and a lot of people don't know how to find or don't know what makes an artwork good. To where I think this little video stream thing will be quite helpful to the Metakey team members. And as well, whoever wants to find art, specifically art. I'll talk about collectibles later, but specifically art within the NFT space. So let's do it. As you see before me on the screen, I have Hicket Nunk. It's one of the growing NFT sites at the moment, because of its cheap gas fees and like the website has a lot of other stuff which I'll get into. But the main draw to Hicket Nunk first was it's green energy, so it doesn't have a lot of carbon offset or any of that, and then it also built on the Tezos blockchain, so it has really cheap gas fees, 12-cent gas fees. So we're buying and minting art for 12 cents, 50 cents sometimes when you want to get the gas up and you want to is your storage fee up, and guarantee a mint. But other than that, it's pretty cheap. It's extremely cheap. So and then the website itself, if I go to the mint object here, you see this. Here, I'll zoom in. This right here. So, unlike a lot of other NFT websites, Hicket Nunk can take a lot of files, and therefore, the capability of NFTs and what you're able to do and what you're able to upload changes a little bit, and it's a little bit more diverse than what you see on something like OpenSea, for example, or Rarible. And so, yeah, you just saw that. I just realized this music has been playing for the recording, but it's too loud. So if I go to my OpenSea right here, and I'm trying and go to collections, go to any of my collections really. Oh, right there. So to manage, and then you hit add items. This is the file limitation on a website, like OpenSea, which is not bad compared to Hicket Nunk, but Hicket Nunk is a beast. And so for now, I'll be taking through how to find good art. And so usually how I started is, I was over on Twitter and I saw one artist, Talk Block, I believe, and he had minted this piece, right? Where'd it go? Where'd you go? It was just right there. He had minted this piece, and that was the only thing in my collection. And then the way I figured out how to find good art on Hen, because if I were to click right here, it didn't know new tab. This is the only way of discovery on Hen. Just endless scrolling, unless you hit on something and click on the tag, and then you get this, but it can sort of break and slow down, right? Which is not fun, right? And so what I started doing personally is, we'll just let it load here. That's one thing you have to deal with about Hen, is just because it's It's like a new site that's being built by like one man and a bunch of volunteers. Um, excuse me. It's a bit slow, so we'll refresh and it pops up. So I essentially clicked this right here. Is a clickable that takes you to their wallet, and then you see this is what Talk the Block had created, and and so usually like if you want a piece by the artist and you can't afford it, you would click here, um, right, and then be like, oh, I'm gonna go for a still because usually you can zoom in on these, and so you're like, okay, cool. And then you click on it and you look at the price or whatever, and then also what I started doing personally is I would just go through the collections. You know, if I like your art, right, then it seems far more probable that we have similar interests in art as well, um, than differences. And so I'm bound to find something within your collection as an artist that I enjoy by another artist. And so that's exactly what you do. And so you just scroll, and the first thing you see is Van Doyle's. I think it's Van Doyle's work. And yeah, Von Doyle, excuse me, right? And so if you like that, you click on it. And this is the rabbit hole people talk about, the hen rabbit hole or the NFT rabbit hole, because by the end of it, the end of scrolling through one person's account, you would have multiple tabs open. And so I'll go through this little collection here. We'll pick out some pieces um, that I think are super good. Um, I'll try to make them by different artists. And then if we run over, we'll determine. We'll go to another page. So that's about it. And so usually after that, then I'll just, you know, click on a bunch there, and then I'm not necessarily interested in this, but I like this person's style, so I'll just click on there, and then we'll proceed to go through. Well, here I'll build a little bit of a bigger interest first. So how do you tell if these are well done? You know, like now you've shown some interest. You're starting to like, okay, some of these are cool. Here I'm trying to find wild varying examples, just so we can see the difference. Um, let's see. That looks cool. I own this one. I will not attempt to pronounce his name because I will butcher it, but we'll look at it. So as you see already, we have about 7 tabs open of just artworks, and then we'll go through those, but I'll try to find some more also. For those listening to the recording, this is happening live within the Metakey Discord on Sunday at 6 p.m. EDT, and so you can actually come in here every Sunday and interact with me, but also ask questions, submit pieces that you want to be looked at, see if they're good, and I'll be able to give you my opinion to the best of my knowledge. You know, I like to think I am good. I do have a BFA, but you know, styles vary. Art is subjective. That is a valid thing. So, you know, what I like or what I consider good might not be considered good by you. But I'm trying to show you like basic ways just to analyze quick works, like wild difference, like varying styles. And so here, all right, and then if an artist that you're interested in starts to show up a little bit more, you're like, okay, cool, they're a little bit good. But that's sometimes not the case also, because sometimes people sleep on artists. This reminds me of Dutch Tide, so we'll click on it. Oh, and this is when Hen starts to do its thing. Oh boy, come on, there we go. Something must be loading. Oh, and it's back. And then here we'll click on this also. And here I'll just go back to a page that's not gonna kill this site. And so here, let's look at Andromeda. And so first thing I would do, um, go down, name, right? Look at the description, AI generated art with a human touch. He would have thought she was a marble statue, except that the light breeze stirred her hair and warm tears ran from her eyes. Ovid. And so, alright, while this is a nice description, I would have preferred personally a little bit more information, you know, like just as like, you know, image, like type of image, so, you know, AI generated digital image, size, and then date. Um, but then, you know, sometimes it happens, you don't put that information, that's fine. And so, alright, now let's look at the actual art itself. The amount of collectors doesn't really concern me. It never has, and it never should concern you either. Just because literally people can sleep on paintings for and really amazing works for years. So we'll click here. Usually, if I click new tab image, and that's like a little bit frowned upon, but that's what I personally use. I don't save them, and even if you save them, you don't own them, so you can't sell them. But so this is how far we're allowed to zoom in. But sometimes, if you view the whole image, you get access to the uploaded. No. Alright. And so, you know, it's not that big of a size just because it's not zooming in that far, but because we're zooming in, we're going to zoom in a little bit further and try to look at the detail. So around here, it's starting to look a little bit pixelated, but it's pretty good. It holds up well when you zoom in. Everything is identifiable. This is AI generated works, right? So there is some haziness to it, right? But that looks fine. You also have to understand like what the work is, right? And so this is a Renaissance painting, I believe, put through StyleGAN or some AI, right, to generate this. So this is public domain works, open domain works that you're allowed to use if an artist is dead. Everybody should also know this. Like if an artist is dead and it's been around 70 or 80 years and somebody like doesn't keep updating the copyright, so in the case of really, really old paintings, there's no copyright on them. You can reuse them and sell them. That's why people are allowed to sell like images and like prints of them on their websites, just because it's the public domain. And so it gives you a lot of creativity and freedom as an artist who uses AI generated works. And so, you know, this is pretty good. Personally, I'll show you guys another work by him that's a little bit better that you can zoom in. As you can, this one right here. I don't know if he includes the size. Does not. Oh well. There. Open new tab it. I could have sworn you could zoom in more. Well, there. So the image is a little bit more higher quality than the other one, I think, just based on how far you can zoom in and it holds up. But it's pretty good. You know, I'm not losing too much detail. There are other works that I'll show you guys that are bigger than this. Then you can zoom in pretty nicely, you know, and then if everything holds up, then you know it's a pretty good work, you know. You also have to understand how this is made, right? Like somebody can be like, oh, they didn't do their Photoshop right? But this is not Photoshop. This is all AI generated, so this is bound to happen through the training and the procedure, right? These little markings, right? And I'm talking about like the overlay, blurry, like see-through stuff, right? Just because you have to understand the medium that's being worked with, you know, and is being used to generate the images. And so we will move on to the next one. So this is Mariposa. Original digital painting by Marcus 2021. At least they have the date. I personally don't know why people include this, but that is fine. That's not a deterrent or anything. I would have preferred the size, but that is okay. And then, so this is a digital painting, right? And as you can see, there we go. Well, Brave is being weird, so we're gonna reset it, and then this reset it, and then to see how far you can zoom in. So this is pretty good, but we're gonna zoom in a little bit more. Also, so this is the level of pixelation, but that is fine. And then what I like about works like this, right? Painting works specifically is, can I see the brush strokes? Can I see where they're going? Can I sort of understand what's happening here, right? It gets a little bit pixelated. It's not as sharp as some other work, but you sort of understand what's going on. Not a lot of detail is being lost, right? Here, sort of, this is like some weird lights, it looks like as if there's light shining on it, but there's no light shining on it. This is a digital work after all, and so, well, it's pretty good. If I had one Tez, and me personally, I wouldn't buy this, but if you enjoy this, like, this is a good work. It's pretty high quality. Personally, as an artist, like, you also have to understand that there are file size limitations, right? Some of the files I mint are over 200 megabytes, but hen only takes 40, so we're at the bay of just size and file sizes, right? And so, but however, this is a pretty good work. It would look pretty nice in like a virtual gallery, like on Cyber, pulling up on the wall. It would still hold its value. Let's move on to the next one. And then, so this is an animation, so you can't really zoom in. But here you go. Pharynx Void Ghost. When I was a kid back in the 90s, for a short time, there was a comic store in a town called Ghost. Right, so they're writing in a little bit of information. Right, the information about the work itself, personally, as an artist, should not really, like, if you're looking for good quality work, the existence of something like this should not be one of the things that deters you or not deters you from buying this, because you don't really need to explain this, right? You can just put the title, Pharynx Void Ghost. You care about this a little bit more, right? Because it gives you the information, right? So it's 256 colors, 240 frames, 135 pixels, upscale to 2160 pixels. Music recorded by EM Morpheus, Microwave 1, Akai. Right, gives you the information. Hicket Nunk itself does its job, and it shows you the file type right here also. The only thing, again, that I would say would be missing here is just /date, or .date 2021. That's about it, right? This is pretty good. You would zoom in, very nice. Open video in new tab. I don't know if you can zoom in on a video in new tab. Oh, there's audio. Yeah, there is audio. I just read that. But yeah, no, automatically Hicket Nunk does not have audio on, so it's pretty good actually. Alright, so there's audio. That's another factor. It's a video piece with sound, designed audio. Right, nice. It's actually very nice. Only those who in the recording can hear what's happening. I apologize. I'm using OBS virtual camera. It's very weird. But here we are. And then, so that's very nice actually. So you zoom in, you get the actuals. So yeah, you can't zoom in. But that's, as a fan of this old school video game pixel style, I would pick this up if I had the funds immediately. No questions asked. Um, and here I'll click on his collection to go through his art collection. So this one for 1,000 des, blurred. What's underneath the surface? No date or image, but I'm pretty sure the artist is recognizable and pretty well known in the space, right? 3,000 followers, they're pretty well known. So, cool. We're just gonna image, new tab it, and then. So it took a second to load there, which tells me it's a pretty good. There we go. Right? And so that answers that. That's a very high quality image. Right? You can see some of the texturing done. It's a little bit pixelated, but. Well, here, let's reset it. Oh, yeah, no, that's the zoom in. So that's very high. Right, we're getting some pixelation here, but that's fine. That's probably the export JPEG. Is it a JPEG? Yeah. So you also have to understand that PNGs are a little bit better image formats than JPEGs. Not by a lot, really. But you know, you have to know some of it. So, but you can see some of the textures right here. Right. Line width variation. Let's go over here. Alright, colors. You can tell this was overlaid on top of this. It's a shame that this doesn't say if it's a digital illustration, mixed media illustration, because this looks like real paint to me. Like this little part here, like the way this interacts with this, and so other than that, this is very good. So I would see this and be like, yep, this is pretty good quality work. Zooming in the eye, everything is distinguishable. Even these, you also have to understand that the artist style the aim is to make everything distinguishable, right? Like the aim is not to make these, but like the shapes, the important shapes to stand out. So if they're successful, that's good. Onwards to the next one. So that's pretty good. This one, Vauxhall Architecture Collection number 16, creator Keyger, mint July. There we go, July 8th, 2021. Resolution 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels. So he included all the information that you need. This is pretty good, Vauxhall Architecture. If you're a fan of Vauxhall Architecture, you just new tab it, and you get the thing. There you go. Right? You can zoom in a little bit more if you want. You start to get pixelation within the pixels. Right? But for voxel art like this, it's not that bad, and everything is still massively identifiable. On screen it looks amazing on my small screen on the side where I have the recording going, but right there, I actually don't know how they do this. Like, is there a program? Like, this is actually cool as hell. Like water, you can see the water shadows in the pool, yo, damn. Little things, right? The shadows right there. The darker shadows right there. Wow. Right. Right. Realistic lighting. Really good lighting, actually. Thought out placement, right? Yeah, a little car in there. I didn't even notice this. Chair. Oh, shelf, table. Oh, you get the tree right here. Right? It's very nice. This is a very good quality. This is a pretty well done work, actually. Wow. Wow. I feel like I could touch it. So, you would see this and be like, alright, cool. If you would like this, buy, in hopes of good faith, right? That the artist is acting in faith, they're not stealing or anything, right? That is a risk that we're gonna have to take within the space, and that we might get screwed over on some pieces, but That's why it helps to know artists also to know who these are, right? Because then if somebody remints this, you know who Cray Jar is, right? If somebody comes out and says, "I have the proof that this was created before this date," and they show it to you, we know who stole from what. So I think this is for hand 100. Um, Sacred Feminism plus Surrender. She is part of the Sacred Feminine collection, represents the feminine energy surrender. Turn on sound. No date or size though. Okay. Nicely designed sound. But let's see how big it is. Okay. So this is sort of built for more like your phone, I believe, at least from my viewing, because too much space is being lost. But also, again, that's up to the artist's discretion. I don't, right? But again, this is a video, right? So I can't zoom in. So that's why I just said that. But it's a pretty good, high quality video. I wish you could zoom in just so I could see how some stuff moves, but looks it looks okay. Oh, I just noticed the stars. That's actually cool. Little shining, little birds, right? If you, so this seems like a pretty well executed work, you know. I believe these are the same models, but they're not moving in the same direction. You know, they're animated independently, sort of, like they have their own sway and energy, right? Same with these, right? The sound doesn't get too annoying. Yo, even the earring is moving. I even noticed that, right? Even the little things, like subtle hints like that, that you have to go back to the work and look at, like that's what make it a good work, you know? Because I noticed these, right? I didn't notice this at all. This doesn't move, but right. Oh, I even noticed these right here. So that's very nice. The more I start to look at it too, there's like a little bit of. So this is being viewed on a TV screen. I have a TV screen plugged to my computer, so some colors appear a little bit weird, but there are clouds in the background right over there. You know, it's very faint, but it's nice. You have the shadow. Alright, looks like it's pretty well painted. You know, if you're interested in this, if I was interested in this, I would buy it. And then this is here. I will attempt to pronounce it. Henry Cow. Henry Cow. Henry Cow. That's as best as I can. Pure oil painting from 2017. There you go. We don't get the size. That's fine. My favorite thing about his work is zooming in, which I hope is a really. There you go. So as you can see, physical painting, right? Oil on. Doesn't say on what, so this could be on wood, canvas, metal. We don't know, but that's fine. You can see the light, the texture is very. Like it. Well, it's not prominent, but you can tell it's there. It's very high definition to where it registers very well. You can see the brush strokes within it, right? You know, you can see the difference of browns, right? Like the little brush hairs here and there. That's one of my favorite things about painting, is you can see the brush in the work, right? These are all marks of the brush, right? And so it's. You can see it when you zoom in. You know, it's a pretty nice image. It's well taken. Right, you can see detail. I actually don't know what that is. Oh, it's cool. I don't know. Excuse me, I was just drinking some water. Here you can see that the artist essentially might have scraped off some of the paint. I'm not sure. This could be the underpainting. It does look like it, and so same here. But there are some circles. Right, you can see the color change here. Fully black background. So this is a pretty good work. Also, strong work, I would say. Very texture heavy. But texture does translate really well in images. That's the best thing about it. Texture translates very, very well, actually. It's fucking crazy. And so when an image does that right there, you know it's a really good image. Let's see. Hand-drawn digital image. Copyright, cool. We do not get the for personal, non-commercial use only. And so this person has, you're not allowed to use this. This is for your own buy, but they include some of the information hand-drawn PNG. Just fine. I would have preferred size and date, but that's my personal preference. If you do not care about that, that's fine. I'm an art school kid, so I'm like, give me the size, give me the date. Why not? I want to know when this was created. I wanna see if I can hold this for like 10 years, 20 years, right? Because whoever buys this in 15 years, like they'll never know when this was. They literally have to go to like when it was minted. Oh, this just shows you the image. Well, here, click on it. Takes a while. Zoom in. Oh, so that's when you know this is also a really good quality image. Wow. Everything is well placed, well colored. No stuff is coming out of the lines, right? No apparent mistakes whatsoever. Hey, that's how I used to draw birds when I was a kid. That's how I still draw birds sometimes too. Cacti tree. Right, so this is very nice. Oh, we got little bones, little fish bones, crocodile. That's very cool. Zebra. You also zoom out just to get a bigger sense, see what you're missing. Oh, that's not where I wanted to click, but I wanted to look. That's great. I think these are supposed to be snakes, like water snakes or something. Wow, this is actually really enjoyable. Wow. So this essentially would be this is why we consider to be a really good quality work. This person would to put 600 tes on a 1 out of 1. I would be like, yeah, you have every right to charge that. You're getting a really good, like you can project this on a wall, right? Get a really big screen. This is a nice size image. Yeah, onwards to the next one. So this is confinement. 2048 pixel, 2000 by 2048 pixel animation minted for 10,000. It's missing the date, but that is okay. Let's hear the sound. No sound. It's just a 5-second animation with a glitch effect. So personally, would I buy this? For full honesty to the artist, not really. Just simply because, and this is a weird excuse, but it's one of those things where if there was no glitch effect, I would have been like, yeah, maybe. But simply because of how the glitch effect makes it all look cliche, because this looks like a digital rendering, right? This is very clearly a digital rendering. It looks very nice on its own. Specifically, um, if you were here before, you heard me say this reminds me of Dutch Tide's work, and it does. And he's sold a few stills of like buildings, but they're just stills. And if they have some animation, it's not an aesthetic effect. It's an actual animation in space. And so to me, this effect is more of a deterrent, right? However, it is a good size. It's a pretty good size. Cinema 4. Oh, well, we don't have the date, but we know. Yep, it is a 3D render, Cinema 4D, right there. Right. But again, personally, the glitch effect took this work out for me. But other than that, if you like it, it seems like it's a pretty well produced work. Click on the artist. There you go. You get the information. Right, and then this is body of work. And then onwards to the next one. So this is Cave Painting, 1806-2021. An artwork in the Cave Painting series by artist M. Plummer Fernandez. Created and minted 1806-2021. Cave Painting is produced by a neural network system that projects visions onto imaginary case response chosen by the artist. Cool. And so it's missing a little bit of the date, but it's fine. What I care about and stuff like this, right? And specifically AI generated stuff, because I'll show you guys Artbreeder in a second also, because Artbreeder can be very weird. It's not that sharp. That's the problem to me, right? As an artist, is because of a website, and I'll show you guys Artbreeder right now, right? I won't log in, but so if I go to Artbreeder, right, and what the cool. So these are the. I'll just pick one here. So that one. Oh, I have to log in. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna take this off screen. So also, just while you do this, you get to look at my screen. But this is by Dutch Tide. There we go. And so say I go to this image right here, right? And give it the chill, or no, I'm just gonna crossbreed it with, right, whatever image I want. Let's crossbreed it with this man's right here, right? What the, right? That's weird as hell. How do you get that? Okay, cool. But so you see if I open image in a new tab, StyleGAN images. Well, I keep referring to StyleGAN because it's the only AI I know by name. But AI images are generally small, and you have to make sure that the AI produces it at the size that you want it. I think I am not fully sure, and so personally, I would wish this would have been bigger. Because if I go to my profile here, go to any of the ones I have created, right? It seems like it's about the same size. Well, not really, but this is the actual size, but like the zoom in factor is sort of the same quality, right? Yeah, let me put this side by side right here. You know? And so it's, would I personally buy this? Not really. But also, if I was really interested in this, I would actually approach the artist and I would be, hey, do you mind? But you can't really do that because this is a multi-edition one. But if this was a one of one, I would just go to the artist and be like, do you mind replacing the image? If it includes burning, I'll pay for the burning fees. But do you mind replacing the image with a bit of a higher quality one? And you can say as a buyer, you don't need to give me the 100% quality export because no artist is ever going to give their image that. Also, some of the files, like some of the limitations on the websites, will not allow us to upload our 100% quality PNG. It's some of them are in the gigs, right? And so when that happens, that's gonna happen. Some artists like myself sometimes include unlockables to the high res PNG, right? And so you can don't forget to be able to talk to the artist. But yeah, and so yeah, let's go try to find some more art. But let's move. Websites. Well, before that, here I'll show you an example of like um, difference in types of work, right? So these are um, because these were giveaways that include the details, but here for something like this, right? I include. It's not that big, right? So you can't really zoom in. Right, that's as far as it zooms in, right? But size, like as in the other NFTs, I mentioned size as an issue, but that's because I know of the work itself, right? And the size is not included in the description, so I have no idea to compare it to. But this lets me know immediately what the size is and the quality, right? And the date. And so I know this, okay, this is not going to look that good blown up. But in turn, I learned from this, and you go to something like this, and this is the pixel size I mess with, right? It takes a while for some of these images to load, which is actually insane. Um, is it gonna load? Did it break? Yo, hen, don't break on me. Um, Here, I'll just click the IPFS. Yeah, it takes if a work does this, at least the image is a really high quality image, legitimately. Just because it's like, look at how long it's taking to load, and then my favorite thing to do is like, boom, right? Like it is a little bit blurry, right? But that's because of just the overlays I have, like some of the stuff and the what do you call it, screen tones and all of that. But if you zoom out, like you can zoom in pretty nicely on the work, right? Why won't you let me zoom out? Oh, that's the wrong thing. I'm gonna reset. Oh. Why is it? I don't know what the hell's going on with. And at the moment, we'll do it again. What the fuck? So it loaded. There we go. So we go from this size, something like that. Something. So that's one aspect that's how I generally also look at work. If I can zoom in very nicely and I don't lose a lot of detail, and then like in comparison now, looking in at this, right, looking at how much I can zoom in, it's not that bad, right? I still wish it was a little bit more sharper, just because of the style guide. I wish it was sharp as this line right here. But again, that could also be just like the stylistic choice. Well, not the stylistic choice, but like that could be just the look of GAN, and the style. So we will move platforms to foundation. And so here on foundation has a weird 40 megabyte limit, but again, right, I personally, in descriptions, I look for this, right, and the title over anything else, right? And then foundation has this weird thing with displaying things, but you zoom in, how close can you zoom in? It's a little bit weird because, right, you see this JPEG is not the actual size, but if you click on view on the IPFS, welcome, right? This is like, if a work has this level, like this quality, right, of detail, where you can really zoom in, right, scroll through the work, like just back and forth, left and right, I can, whoa, right, then randomly scroll and pause, right, everything holds. Shape, right, colors, you can see, oh, screen tones, right, screen tones, right, where the screen tones disappear and where they appear, right? Some places it's very hazy, and that's where the noise starts to appear. Oh, and then here you see a little bit of a tiny mistake that I made. Right? This also informs you of a mistake, which is, what is that under there? Right? But is that too big of an issue? Not really. You know, something like that would not deter me from buying the work. Right? Why? Because it's still very high quality work. It's almost as if, you know, um, you like a painting is really high quality, right? And then you're like, man, I'm not gonna buy it because now there's like paint on the edges of the frame. You know, you're like, okay, cool. No, but right, if you weren't able to zoom in on anything, I would be like, okay, cool, right? And here, like, Hiketnunk has some. Sorry, we're on Foundation now. Foundation has some pretty nice NFTs actually. So I was looking at this earlier. Um, Foundation doesn't do a very nice job of displaying the NFTs. Oh, well, it does now. Oh, Brave, why do you do these things? There we go. And so, like, when I say that it doesn't do a pretty good job displaying these things, you always have to new tab it to find like how good of a quality of the work is, because you can't really zoom in on here, right? It's getting smaller. I don't even understand how that works, but okay. Right, so I have to new tab it, zoom in a little bit more. This is, you know, can I zoom in all the way? This is pretty good. This is a really high quality PNG. Everything is identifiable to the code, to the core, sorry, to the code. Haha. Little joke, little tiny joke. But yeah, is this a good quality work? Absolutely. You have the date also. You're missing the size on this one, but that's fine, right? Let's go find some more stuff. Here we go. This here, this, and I'm actually curious about this. Interesting. Okay, and these two right here. So for this one, digital painting, 3,750 by 5,000 pixels. So it's a pretty good size image. I'm actually excited to zoom in on this. Digital painting. Wait, where'd it go? Where the hell was I? Oh my god. Why'd you open all the way over there? Holy cow. Oh. Well. That's very nice. So this is very clearly a digital painting, but also I would consider this a mixed media painting because there's some images in here, right? That clearly is an image. Maybe the artist painted it. Let's see, let's zoom in. To me, that looks like an image, and they just blurred it. Right here, you can see the blur streaks, the brush strokes. So this is sort of bending the rules, right? Because this is, the more I'm looking at it, it's starting to seem like an image that's just photo manipulated, not photo painted. What's leading me to say that is this right here, like these little marks right here, right? Also, let's zoom. I'll zoom in. What also leads me to it is these lights, right? Part of me thinks this is all the same image, and this is too much of an image. Like, no way, right? And again, I say this because this is where he started. This is where the blurring and the smearing of the work starts, and you can see right here, this is a pixelated image, right? Same here, that little light. These little light reflections are key. Not to say that painters don't include them or digital painters don't include them, but it looks very different from a photo, and when you start to look at stuff, you're like, okay, you know, um, I hope I am wrong, but some of these are starting to look like overlaid images. Overlaid. That's definitely an image. But this does look painted, right? So this is where the hand painting structure comes in. This does look a little bit painted right here also. So this is sort of what you have to do to make decision, right? The background sort of, some of the stuff does look painted, like this right here. This, some of these, right? That's just a blurred image. So, like, is the artist lying or being disingenuous? Not really, no. Right, this is still can be considered a digital image, but you also have to be aware of some of the stuff that's happening, right? I want to zoom in on the. You just have to be aware, you know. So I can tell he painted these because of these right here. Right, that's just the solid brush, right? Solid brush, solid brush. Some of these are just like textured images. But this, however, to me, so it's a mix. I would call this a mixed media painting. It's pretty good, very high quality image. You can zoom in pretty well and figure out some of the stuff that's happening in there and how the painter did it. You know, it is. You know, I would be like, hey man, the photo digital mixed media thing. But other than that, very good work. I clicked on this because this is an artist that got their work stolen in the space. Like the artist Just Dream Design, I think his name was, or some got called out. So time to give the artiste a spotlight. So 3000 pixels by 2225 pixels. We have the date, but no. Sorry, we have the size, but no date. Some of these we're getting the size, but we're not getting the date. What is going on? There we go. So I don't know what's going on with his export. But I think it's the J. Well, no, it's a PNG. Maybe it's because I'm just on a big screen. Or is it? I don't know. It's a little bit blurry. It's still a good quality work. The artist themselves is a hard worker. This is so. In a case like this, for me personally, this is where the artist themselves starts to kick in more than the work, right? Because this is the only one. You're like, okay, cool. Who are you? Right? That's where you go into their socials, and then that's where you. Excuse me. So that's where you determine good quality of work right there. So. That's very cool, actually. Would I recommend buying this? Yeah, I would just message the artist and be like, hey, do you mind uploading a better quality image? It could also be that I'm on a big screen, right? Like I'm on a very big screen, so some of this stuff is bound to lose some of its detail. But this is still pretty good work. The artist isn't stealing anything, right? They are the original artist. I am a fan of this. I don't know what you call it, grainy style. So it's got that going for it. There's a lot of texture. It's very texture heavy. Um, a lot of shapes, all of them identifiable, right? Nothing's being lost in the fuzz. Even in stuff like this, you can tell hill, cloud, cloud, mountain, mountain, and even here, just mountain. Here is where it starts to get a little bit blurry, right? But that's because the sun, right? The sunrise, and then you got planet, right? And then you get some clouds, the stars, and then just some noise splattered across here, right? And so this is a very nicely executed work, right? Image overlaid and flipped and then just blurred a little bit to give that reflection. Um, I'm pretty sure Photoshop allows you to do this. Actually, cool. That's a nice way to hack it. Fuck, I didn't learn about that. um, this is pretty good quality. I just personally, I wish the image was a little bit sharper, but oh well. To the next one. So this is an edition of one, June 2020, June 20, June 22nd, 2021, 7:39 a.m. We're not getting the information, but we gotta zoom in. IPFS. What the hell is going on with this shit? There we go. So you can't zoom in. So immediately, personally, you're like, okay, cool. This is a nice image. It's got nice composition. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. But it gets blurry way too quickly. So it's not that big of an image. If you like it, I wouldn't say no to buying it. You just have to be aware of the size, right? 6. There you go. That's the size. It's a very small image. All. So, well, here, something like that. You see the difference? I just zoomed in on there, bro. You see the difference? Right, so there's some yellow going on here, right? You can see the reflection of this in here. Right. I can read this whole thing. Beauty enhancing oils for hair and body beauty. 95 milliliter liters, right? Wagon take mouth, right? I can't read that. That's upside down. But oh, you got pills with faces on them. That's actually cool, and weird at the same time. But I don't know the name of these little fruit things. Oh, we got a lighter, McDonald's or burger. McDonald's right there, right? Vogue on a straw. No, that's a paper. Oh, half torn cigarette. So this, I would buy this. Far better than these. I don't know why the image for that specific one is just so small compared to, because look at that. Wow. Le Labo. Right, like you zoom in, you can read, you can find information. My phone is dead. Right, so you got the flowers, little sprinkles with the ting. It's a donut. Does it look pretty good actually? Um, right. Compared to, so I wouldn't buy this, right? But I would buy the other two, 100%. If I was, if I had the money, I actually really like these works. Um, right, but these are insane. Onwards to the next one. Ethereal skin. Designed as a wallpaper, 1920 by 1080. Okay. So it is designed as wallpaper, so you can't really zoom in that much without starting to lose detail, but it's an okay work. If I mean, in a case like this, subjectivity is gonna kick in far more than quality, right? Because there's no information at all. Personally, I wouldn't buy this because again, I'm not seeking something as a wallpaper, right? So that's number one. Um, I generally prefer really big works, also that I can zoom in and just I am I'm aware of like the style, the AI generated works, right? So, but that's what again, like I say, that's where subjectivity is gonna kick in. This one I was very interested in. Limping is a perfect world piece number 2. Okay, so you can't zoom in that much, but two things off the board. Are these 3D renders? Yeah, I think so. Because at first I was like, these look like sculptures. Um, but some of the texture warping here, um, I think these might be 3D renders actually. Yeah. The mm, yep. I am pretty sure. I'm not saying this to deter anything. I'm just saying, okay, so this is a 3D render. It's very cool. We got told the size at the beginning, so we already have a placement, right? It's not too big, it's not too small. Um, Again, this is where subjectivity would kick in. Would I buy this personally? I mean, I like the concept. I would look at Olympics one. I mean, personally, no, right? But again, that's because I'm being subjective, right? When it comes to other stuff, is the work is doing everything it needs to. Like I keep saying like, oh, these are missing the dates, but again, right? The dates aren't that important per se. Um, we have the date right here, right? The date of the created image at least. Um, when it comes to works like this, that's when again I keep saying subjectivity, but that's again truly where subjectivity starts to kick in because this is work that fits a specific, or is aiming at a specific, or like sorry, this is work going out with a specific message that if it resonates with you, it is a good quality work, right? It's executed pretty nice. You have everything you need to know about the size. You won't buy it, think it's huge, and then be disappointed by how small it is, right? Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. That is wild. Is that a plug? No, it's an arrow. I'm just blind. And we got the we got oh wow. You can see the shading and the painting. Right, if we zoom out of here, damn. Looks hella nice. Very sharp. Wow. Spring. Right? We don't know the size or the image. Like the IFPS will let you know, right? I see it right here. It's a pretty good, it's a very large image. But, you know, again, as artists, we're at the bay. We are literally at the bay of this right here. Right? Like this is insane. Right? Because you as a collector also have to understand this, just because, right? If you um if an artist is making a work this size, the actual Photoshop file itself is fucking probably over 100 megabytes, over 200 megabytes. If they're digitally painting, I guarantee you it might be even over a gig, just because they have to layer, they have to blend. This is digital paint simulation being moved around, right? Digital paint blending, right? Blurriness, layers on top of layers, Control Z, all that shit. Right? This becomes a big file, and then and then sorry, um, sorry about that. Just heard something in the background. I was like, "What the hell is that?" Um, Get my cat. He's getting some food, but very good quality work. I'm very happy about how big this is. This is very nice. Right, and then you go. Let's see if they've bought anything. No, but here. So this 450 by 556 centimeters. Okay, Brave. There you go. Wow. This is the mix brush. So we saw the same sort of brush movement in the other work. That was a mixed media work, right? I remember Peridrige Farms. I remember whatever that's called. It's very nice. Zoom in on. Oh wow. Oh wow, that's very cool. Right, so this is very highly detailed work, strong work. It also informs you of the process a little bit. I say this because this told me that this little bit literally, just told me he blew circle first, shade it, and then he drew this, and then he drew these after, because these overlap over the blue, but then the yellow overlaps over both of them. Right, this extends past it, right, in an overlay. So this might be on the same layer as this and this stuff. So the work also informs you of what the artist has done. Oh, this is very cool. And the shadows, eye little gleam on there, right? Very nice. And then I don't know why I just closed that. What was that? Yeah, okay, no, that was the OpenSea. That was unimportant. And then to the last few NFTs arts that I'll show you, I own some of these. And I was trying to find an example of really good quality work that you can zoom in on and have it be um, very good quality. And so I will show you a few. I'm a big fan of Creature Castle's work. It's super fun. Alright, so these. That's. Well, I'm trying to see if this was big enough too. Let's see. Alright, so this one. You gotta give it time to load. But once it loads, new tab. Look how nice this is. Look how nice this is. Wow. Right? Like, I can tell the pressure, pressure sensitivity change. Oh, wow. Like, right? Look how highly detailed it is. It's actually insane, right? Oh, I see a little bit of blue, but that's fine actually, because it does not finish. So that's part of his kit. I'm just kidding. This is literally nothing. That's not even an error that you would consider. I'm just messing around. But wow, look at the detail. These are dot, 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 dot. These are individual dots right now. Wow. These look like just a streak, right? Nope. Two dots. Two dots. That's a streak in the middle, but I really like those hands, those legs. Those are great. But so as you can see, that like the quality of work is insane. Onwards to the next one. So this one, give it time to load. Let's see how big it is. So it's not that big, but oh well. Still good quality. I'll zoom in a little bit more, right? So you don't lose that much detail. The work is still pretty valid. Everything holds up. The basic shapes still there. You don't lose a lot of detail. You're actually not losing any detail. You're starting to see. I've actually never noticed this before. The little brush strokes that the person drew. So this is an illustration, I believe, that then open domain illustration, right? So they have every right to do this, and then which they took and then removed the white and then proceeded to paint under, which is wow. It's actually very nice. I didn't notice these. I bought this like months ago. Right, but here, that's why you zoom in, because you realize, oh, this is where the hand-drawn elements are. That's actually, a little body, like his painting. What is it? Like these little streaks, inform you of like how the body curves and some of the curvature that the body has. So they're, very nice. Right, you can see you just brush. Same here. I can sort of tell how he painted this, which makes this a pretty successful work. High quality. There's no problem with this work. To the next one. And so, again, I hope this is as good quality. Yes. Look at that. Oh my god. That's actually insane. Wow. Wow. So it's already a huge image. Huge. Then zoom in on that. I don't know why it's zooming in up there. Like, look at that. Skirt. Like mark. Large mark. 3 more marks and then just erase, right? the line work, you can really see the line work, right? See where he pauses, dot, dot, right? Oh, dot, 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 right? I can tell, like I can sort of understand how how he's drawing this, right? Um, the image is not hiding anything. It's not, no detail is being lost whatsoever. That actually looks very cool. It's, very simple, easy to read. Even just the slight difference in color from here to here. That's, cup is full, right? So very well executed work. Circle. And then, so this is one I made. This was supposed to be huge, but I actually don't know how big it is. So we're gonna see. It's taken a while, so I hope it's huge. Again, you gotta keep in mind, Rarible still has size limitations, right? We are at the bay of 100 megabytes here, which is really good. It's very good, because then you don't have to export it as PNGs. You can export it, you don't have to export it as JPEGs, excuse me. You can export it as PNGs with just, you would have to scale it down a little bit. Or alternatively, you export it as JPEGs, but a higher quality export on JPEG. And so, yeah, there you go. It was a huge image, right? Me personally, I like huge, right? And so, to me, this right, this is an indicator. Because if you can zoom in very well, you can see details, or you can understand how some of this stuff is formed. This is formed on Mandelbulb, whatever. What is it? Mandelbulb. I think it was Mandelbulb 3, which is like, it's a program that simulates like fractals, I think, and stuff. But like, it's very cool, and it's like, I'm zooming in here since it loves to zoom in on this part. Let's zoom in, right? So it's a pretty nice zoom in for a picture that's naturally already zoomed in, right? If we zoom out here, this is what it looks like. And then so now I'm super confused because fucking Brave is being all weird. So we're just gonna open it. So that's why you have to click on the image, right? Because this is like a complete different image that's being displayed. This is the original image. Right, okay. So I take everything I said and just put it to where this is the actual size of the image, and you can zoom in to, if you could let me zoom in, thank you, to this much, right? Everything holds up. And again, I'll take it even further, right, to zoom in more, right? You can still see the dots, right? You can see still see some of the lines. Some pixelation starts to happen, but I zoom out, it's still pretty sharp, still pretty sharp, right? And that's sort of, at least personally, that's sort of what I look for. Like if I'm buying something, it's guaranteed that it's getting a new tab opened, and I'm seeing like how big it is, right? So when I got this recently, immediately I was like, okay, let's see how big it is. Right, this is a pixelated image, so it's fine, right? But I was like, cool. How big of a file did I actually get? And so we'll go to OpenSea, for example. And I'm just using this as a segue to lead you to collectibles and how to find good collectibles. It's a little bit quicker because I honestly just use one website now, other than Twitter. But if you click on here, right, open image in new tab, this is the size. Right, it's a pretty good size. This being a pixelated sort of thing, doesn't really lose detail, you also have to understand that some of these aren't huge. Like, if you go to CryptoPunks are small as hell. Legitimately. Right? you click on it. Oh, see, can you zoom in? You can normally zoom in. Oh my god. So I'm at 100 zoomed in. So this is the actual size of a CryptoPunk, right? Which is weird. It's like, damn, that's the actual size. Yup, that's the size. It's small. It's small. Um, but in turn, right, you have something like, again, I go back to this, right, or like even baby punks, or these, right, and then click on this. We're gonna image, new tab it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So I'm gonna put this to 100. Right, so you immediately see the difference in size. Same with this one. This I can already tell it's gonna be small because it's following CryptoPunk. So there you go, sir. It's even smaller than a CryptoPunk, right? Is that a really big factor when it comes to PFP collectibles? Not really. The project matters, right? I bought this because the project itself is cool. In keep in general, um, I only go into projects that have, and you as a collector also, when you're going into these collectible stuff, look for ones that have either some form of liquidity or have shown history of lasting, right? These released a while back, so did Bastard style Gan Punks, right? These released like 3 or 4 months ago. Same this like 2 or 3 months ago, right? And then I only got into them now because they've sustained, right? The artwork is pretty well made. Oh, where did it go? Um, but you know, you click on it. There's even sound. Um, right. So pretty good size. Same with Bastard Punks, right? Pretty good size. They have their websites set up, right? So you go to a website. They have a Discord. They have a Twitter. Same here. So it's a little bit different dealing with NFT collectible projects than an actual artist, because an artist can be completely inactive on their socials and just be a good artist who mints, right? But I don't know why I clicked on it. I'm already in their Discord. But they have a Discord. They have. I meant to click on the website, right? So I go, Dream Loops, right? Connect to MetaMask or whatever. The idea. That's all cool. What concerns usually me is I go to the About section, right? And then I try to find the team. If I can tell who you are, it makes it a little bit safer than, a lot of random rock pull projects. And don't get me wrong, even I've bought into some stuff that you don't know who the creator is, right? Like this is just it's a rock pull on a fucking rock pull, But you have, one project like this, you do your research, right? This was like point one, right, or point two, right? Bastard style punks and dream loops are like slowly rising in value. Dream loops are actually still pretty cheap too, but you know because of how active their Twitter is, right? They have 3,000 followers. They're not going anywhere. The team is already there. You can Google all of these people. You feel it's a far safer project to put your money in than a fucking pickle, for example, right? Same thing with Bastard Punks. The website is here, right? It's got all the information you need. Um, One thing about Bastard Punks is they don't have an about section. I haven't found it. Um, but it says who's created here, right? So you go to the Twitter and it says it's created by this guy. So you click on him and then this is the person. Now we're dealing with crypto, so we don't know who he is in real life, but it's hard for a person with this large of a following and such NFTs to like burn the community, right? And this is good quality work enough, and the price has kept steadily rising enough on OpenSea, right? If you go to activity here, um, like some, right, it's slowly getting up there. Um, it's it's a good project to invest at least not invest in. I'm talking as if like we're all invested. It's like a little good project to like pick up a little NFT heat from, and personally I don't buy from here, right? um because as you can see, all the sales are point 0.1. I just go to NFT 20, and that's why I brought up the whole liquidity point earlier, because you want to be in a project that you're able to get out of in case something happens, right? On an NFT 20, all these have liquidity, right? So in case I want to sell my GAN Punk, I can literally just um, swap it for GAN Punks 20, right? Go to Uniswap and just swap it out and get my money from there, right? Worth zero point 0.9 ether, right? I can I can also just swap, right? So I just go from here and be like, I own this boy. Nope. I will swap him for any of these dudes, and you just swap, right? And then in case anything happens, I can just come here. If I have like 10 GAN punks, right, that I fully want to get rid of and that they're not that valuable. So keep in mind, NFT 20 is meant for floor NFTs, right? Not the rarest of stuff, just stuff that's fairly cheap. So, you know, you just put it in and you already have the liquidity for it. But also, when a project shows up on NFT 20, you know that it's got enough support from the people that this has been created, you know. So at least that's personally what I like to do about it. But that's really it. Like I personally do not invest a lot into these projects. I like art more. Um, Most recently, I just bought a style again punk because I really like them and I've been sitting on them for a while. But other than that, it's just mainly art. Um, and hopefully, gathering, this little video has helped you find some good art. You know. Um, or at least has led you down to some path of finding and analyzing what's really good quality art um, that you want to buy. But yeah, to those listening to the recording, this happens every Sunday at around 6 p.m. EDT at the Metakey Discord. Specifically in the Metakey Discord, you can come in, say hello, talk, pitch your questions, But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, whoever listened, and I wish you happy art collecting. Peace out.